and welcome to another Hang With Me in my kitchen, and let's cook some meals while I talk far too much. This is one of our family favorite recipes. It's black bean sweet potato enchiladas. I am going to tell you that this recipe is super simple because it is. It's basically you chop everything up, cook it until it's a little bit soft, you wrap it in tortillas, put it in the oven. Done. I'm going to personally make it a little more from scratch, so a little more hands-on. I made my beans from scratch. You can just use a can. And I am also going to be making my own enchilada sauce, which again, get it from the can. There's nothing wrong with that. We just don't have any, so I'm just gonna make some. Come on over here with me. Welcome again to my unaesthetic kitchen that I hate filming in because the lighting is bad and it just doesn't lend to good angles, but you guys keep wanting me to share my recipes, so here I am. This is in my fall meal guide, and if anybody's interested, I made a fall meal plan that is for a full month, and then you can repeat it for the other 2 months of fall. It has the recipes for every single one that I included in there, and then it's also got a grocery list. So it just really takes the thinking out of cooking. They're healthy meals and they're very seasonal, and I think they're just overall really well balanced, and because we eat this way in general, it just makes it very frugal. So if these kind of meals are your vibe, then definitely go check out my meal plan. I will link that down below. We actually found this meal a long time ago when we were vegan. My friend showed me this recipe, and it was from the San Marcos Food Bank, and it was just the best thing that she had ever made for us. It originally called for butternut squash, and we immediately switched it to sweet potato because it's just, I don't know, I don't like dealing with butternut squash as much, and we always have sweet potatoes on hand in the fall. But yeah, we've been making it ever since. I'm just super excited because this is such a fall winter meal that we love eating all season long, but we haven't had it since last time it was cold. So this is our first time having it in such a long time, and I just cannot wait to eat it. I feel like I need to disclose the fact that I am in a bad mood right now, but I actually think I'm going to be in a much better mood by the end of cooking, because that's what cooking does. You're here alone with your thoughts, and you have to think everything through, and then it puts you in a better mood because you're just chopping away. You know what I mean? While that's sauteing, I am going to chop up my sweet potato. And this one is massive, so I'm counting it as 2. Some people get really grossed out by the fact that I don't skin my potatoes, but it's actually where a lot of the nutrients are, and it's free food, and I would rather not. It saves so much time. Fun fact about me, I never ate sweet potatoes or any kind of squash growing up. My mom just never made it, my family never asked for it, so I had never even tasted, basically, I was about to say anything orange. We ate carrots and oranges, but it was shocking to me to realize how sweet and delicious squash and sweet potato are. I should not be allowed to cook and film at the same time. Okay, so once you saute your onions, then you add your garlic. And then just a few minutes, couple minutes. I feel like if you ever want to impress your friends with how good you can cook, all you have to do is saute onions and garlic. And everybody will be asking you, man, what are you cooking? It smells amazing. Okay, so once you have this sauteed, I like to add my spices. Okay, 2 teaspoons of cumin. I like to do this pretty quick so it doesn't burn. 2 teaspoons of chili powder, and then 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to add a little bit of veggie broth. You can also use water. I just always have homemade broth in the fridge, so it's handy for whenever. And you add your sweet potato. You can also use butternut squash if you have that and you don't have a sweet potato. So now we're just going to cover this and let it soften. And it does take a few minutes to do that, so while this is softening up, I will be making my enchilada sauce right over here. Making your own enchilada sauce is not that hard. It seems really intimidating, but basically it's just you heat up some oil and then you do equal parts flour, and then you mix that around until it kind of browns up a little bit. You dump in your spices, you mix, whisk, whatever you want to call it, and then you add in your veggie broth slowly and just keep. Fun fact, I don't own a whisk, so I'm going to be whisking with a fork. It's how you also make a gravy. Like, this is how you make a roux, and it's just that with a ton of spices. Cooking is instinctive, but if it is something you're not as familiar with, there's no shame in measuring. And then once you have it at this point, you just simmer it for 10 minutes, and then you have enchilada sauce. I'm trying to keep a tidier kitchen this time than the last time I filmed a video. But if you're new here, one of my favorite things is making veggie broth with scraps. So I always like to just keep it in a bowl while I'm chopping things like onions and the onion skins, garlic, celery, carrots. If I'm ever using those things, I just keep a baggie in the freezer. And when that gets full, I boil it with some water on the stovetop for like close to an hour. And then it makes the most delicious veggie broth you will ever taste. Okay, so I'm going to call this done. Let's check on these. So my sweet potatoes are almost to the point of soft, but not too soft. Like you don't want them mushy, but you don't want them crunchy either. So I'd like to get them kind of mostly soft, and then I will add my black beans. So I'm going to give these a rinse. I'm gonna do about a can's worth. That's more than a can's worth. I wish that you could smell the smells in here. It smells so good between the enchilada sauce and this, like the sweetness of the sweet potatoes just gets me so excited to eat them. Like the broth has just cooked off of the bottom just now, and it's like starting to kind of caramelize the sweet potatoes to the bottom. Unreal. Okay, so then you are just going to kind of mash it up just a little bit. I like it at a halfway point where it's slightly mashy, but it still has some like nice chewy chunks in it as well. God, that just does not sound appealing. I know, I'm sorry. It also will not look appealing from the outside, but. And then it calls for a little splash of lime, but we don't have that, so you know me. I'm going to use whatever I have. It's just for a slight acidity, so we're just going to use a lemon and call it a day. What's next, you ask? I'm actually going to shred some cheese. I'm gonna use up this little piece from before. I think cheese is measured from the heart. Do as much as you want. I mean, technically these can be vegan and you don't have to have any cheese at all. That's how I used to make them actually, but they are just a hint more delicious with cheese. Let's set up my little workstation here. Okay, so some people might like to go one step further and make their tortillas. I don't. We've done it a few times, and while delicious, they're not as thin as my kids especially like them, and I don't know, there's some things to some people that feel like a lot of work that feels like a lot of work to us. So I think it's totally worth just buying the tortillas. Also, we eat a lot of tortillas in our house, so I don't meal prep per se. A lot of people think that I would, but I don't. I'm too spontaneous and I'm not that organized. When I have the time or it's like the right day for it, I will make a big meal that will feed our family 2 or 3 times even. And then in between that, we just make quick, easy things like pita pizzas or sandwiches on our sourdough bread. I forgot the cheese. So we're not always eating these gargantuan, like in-depth creations. It's usually just this for a few days and then a few days of kind of easy. This fall has been so weird because usually I love fall and I like really get into it, but this year, because we know that we're moving, it's just making it not a fun experience for me. Because I think when it's fall heading into winter, you just want to start kind of nesting in your home and you want to make it really cozy and you want to kind of like go into hibernation mode a little bit and start like slowing down the pace of your life. But for us, it's like, oh shoot, we are fleeing the nest and we don't know where we're going. And so it's just a different feeling. I'm pretty sure there's nothing that feels quite as victorious as putting dinner in the oven. 400. Another good idea with this to make it a lighter meal and to stretch the enchiladas further, like if you have a bigger family and this would, you know, be gone in one day, make a little side salad or make some like corn or a veggie on the side so then you can fill up on the vegetables as well and it just makes it extend for more days. This meal is such a perfect blend of sweet and savory. The combination of the flavors is just incredible. To make it completely vegan, just cut out the cheese. We also used to make this cashew cream sauce, which I couldn't be bothered now. I would just rather buy some sour cream or use some plain Greek yogurt or just nothing. But there are just so many different topping varieties, like a guacamole kind of mash or avocado mash, and then put that on top. Cheese on top is also amazing. So whatever you want, super versatile. Me and Billy are going to eat the heck out of this meal. My daughter might eat it. My son will not. They might just have quesadillas, just cheesy quesadillas, because that's how kids are. Just to be fully honest about that. I love the crunch of the crispy tortilla. You gotta get a bite with everything in it. I don't know what to say. Okay, well, yeah, we're gonna finish eating our dinner. Thank you for being here. We will pack the rest of these up into 2 other little Tupperwares. Let me know if you like this style of video, if you find it helpful. Don't forget that I have my fall meal guide down below and also the recipe for the enchilada sauce if you're interested in making your own. I'm gonna leave you now so I can finish eating this. Thanks for watching, bye.